to pop off or to process? That is the question. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. And in this video, we are focusing on our good sis Fatima. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my sisters' content and conversations, because we have all of the good sisters conversations right here on Erica Vane TV. Baby, you do not want to miss it. As you can tell by the title of this video, we get into the real deal Holyfield and we talk about everything that there is to talk about. So welcome, you found your people, as long as you are sensible, respectful, media literate folks, okay? In this video, again, I'm talking about whether Fatima should be processing or popping off, or specifically what Fatima should do. And I had the idea to do this video after creating my breakdown for episode 6 and teaser breakdown for episode 7, and looking at how long Fatima is going in reference to episode numbers, because not really a lot of days, but how long in reference to episode numbers that Fatima is going, not addressing her issue with Zach. In episode 6, we got to see her, you know, not tell Andi everything, but she alluded to some things and she pointed out certain things. She told Angela everything. So we as the audience got to see what she actually is feeling and what she's actually thinking, even though she has yet to communicate it to Zach. And somehow, some way, she thinks that her silence is going to shift or put him in a place for him to understand exactly what he did was wrong, even though I still stand 10 toes down on the fact that he was not actually wrong for any of the things that he has done thus far. She thinks that her silence is going to do something. And so thinking about the timing, but then also thinking about my position on the silent treatment and how strongly I feel about it, I think that the silent treatment in a lot of ways can be an emotionally abusive act, a mentally abusive act, a very manipulative act. And while it can be effective, most of the times when it's used, it's a little bit more destructive than it is actually effective. And again, I wanted to just have this conversation to really talk about if she should be quiet, if she should be talking, or if she should be yelling and screaming. One of the things that has come up a lot in the most recent episodes is that Fatima is not speaking because she's taking time to process. She's afraid of what she's going to say. If she does speak, you know, she don't want to let that child, you know, that's what she told Andi, because it can go there. And honestly, this is really making me really think about the conversation about processing or popping off. Because while I am a big fan of taking the time that you need to process certain things so that you don't say too much out of anger, or so that you don't compromise your relationship or say something that you cannot actually come back from, I also am, specifically in romantic relationships, but honestly in any kind of very close relationship, right? I am a fan of being brutally honest and creating safe spaces. So like, maybe not with every single person that I call friend, right? Maybe not with every single family member, or well, definitely with your romantic partner. That should be a norm. I believe in creating the safe space where if at any given point in time something goes down and words are escaping me and I feel so angry that I want to hit something, or I just want to yell and I just want to scream, I believe in cultivating some type of safe space so that I can express myself however I can feasibly get it out, and then we can clean it up later. So no, that doesn't mean I have the right to hit you and lose my mind, but I'm thinking in reference to Zach and Fatima's relationship, especially after she gave that whole speech to Andi about, I know his in love voice, I know his I want to have sex voice, I know his angry voice, I know him, girl. Because you know him so well, y'all should know each other so well, and there should be a safe space for you to not need to extensively process everything. But if you need to just express your anger, you need to be able to do so. And when I say a safe space, I mean, why isn't there an opportunity or a space for you as romantic partners to be like, you know what? Some type of code word, right? Let's say pineapples. That's the code word for I need to be able to say some stuff, and it might hurt your feelings, but I am deeply hurt and I cannot wrap my head around my emotions enough to clean it up and make it nice for you. I just need to get it out. And that code word being said should be the alert to your partner to say, okay, whatever gets said in this next 20 minutes, I have to not hear it from my perspective first, but put myself in my partner's shoes. Like, these are the type of things that I'm talking about when I say effective communication, because effective communication is not just the big words that you can use. It's about how effectively you can communicate with another person. And everybody operates at different communication levels, at different emotional intelligence levels, at different levels of understanding. And it's really just about how effective can you be when communicating with whoever you're actually speaking to in this moment. Fatima, girl, you're taking days to process this very real hurt that you feel because you felt abandoned and you felt betrayed, and you feel like you cannot actually say those things to Zach, but you can say those things to Andi, and you can say those things to Angela, but y'all engaged, but you know him so well, but you trust him so well. It's giving you don't trust him. It's giving you don't feel safe in your relationship. It's giving that you don't have a strong foundation, because while this Karen situation is not about you, and I do feel like she's being selfish in saying that he dismissed her and that he abandoned her, because again, this was a very life or death moment that wasn't about her, that she's making it about her. Her feelings are valid, right? And sometimes we can process things on our own, and we can come back and deliver things in a way that is amicable for everybody. But sometimes we can't. Sometimes the processing looks like telling somebody what it is and what it ain't based off of your feelings. One, feeling heard. So again, that's that safe space that I think that they need to be able to cultivate, so she can say it, he can hear it. Maybe he don't respond right then in the moment so that she can feel heard. And then the processing comes when he's able to provide his explanation for the events in reference to, or in contrast to how she perceived it. Maybe not necessarily in that moment, because the number one goal is to make sure that she feels heard. But then the processing comes with y'all actually talking about it. Like, you, at this rate, Fatima, you ain't never going to say nothing, because you ain't going to never feel safe enough that Zach ain't going to leave you because you just told him that you abandoned him, because you just triggered some of whatever that's tied into his mommy issues. Like, I want to root for Zach and Fatima. I really do. I was so happy for Devale and Crystal with this spinoff. But as things play out and go further and further, they just consistently, to me, continuously show exactly how unstable their relationship is. And for them to be the tent pole for the healthy relationship in the Sistas universe is giving very much so unhealthy, because healthy means that you actually have a space to say some things that might not be so nice, but your partner knows your intentions. If we have intentions that we want to be together, that we want to be married, that we want to be in healthy partnership with one another, and that we want the best for one another, sometimes we're going to say something that the other person does not like, but we have to remember the intentions. Or even if we can't remember the intentions, we can give them space to make it about them. We know that Karen is okay. We know that things are fine. We know that Zach wants to go and help Karen. So you didn't got rid of the immediate threat, right? Everything is all good on your end, Zach, in reference to you don't have to worry about Karen being dead. Now is the time that you create space for your partner to express herself. And whether you agree or disagree about what she's about to express, she needs to be able to get it up off her chest. So again, that brings me back to the initial premise of this whole video of, like, should Fatima be processing or should she be popping off? And I personally feel like this is not necessarily a time to process. This is a time that say what you're going to say, because I would much rather you pop off to Zach than to go from homegirl to homegirl to homegirl to co-worker, talking around Zach and about the problem, but not with anybody who can actually do anything to actually fix your problem or to help you with your problem. At this point, you're just telling your homegirl so that they can placate and validate your feelings of loneliness and abandonment, which is ultimately feeding into the insecurities that your ass already had in this relationship, which speaks to a bigger thing that y'all actually need to get into. But I'm not even going to go down that road. Like, you're going to Andi and you're going to the Angela so that you can feel validated and vindicated in your feelings, and you're not going to Zach because there's potential for another side. And again, I'm not faulting Fatima for her feelings. Do I feel like she's being selfish? Yes, but we all are selfish sometimes. I feel like there's plenty of moments where she needed to be selfish and she hasn't been. I am a big believer that we're only at this place that we're at with this whole Zach and Karen moment in the Sistas universe, specifically in the Fatima relationship, because Zach has run out of grace cards with Fatima. He has used them all up on Connie, on his mama, on Heather, on Deja, and on saying my house. And that's why we're at this place where Fatima is probably at her lowest in reference to insecurities than she has ever been this entire time in this whole entire relationship. And again, I do not fault her 100% for it, because Zach laid the bed for this to actually happen. However, this is the time where Fatima really does need to show a little bit more grace. She does need to show a little bit more patience, because this is not one of those other moments. However, it's been so many of the other moments that I get how she has gotten it confused. And I would just much rather her pop off than to spend this time processing. When she needed time to process her feelings about Ian and the cancer and him popping up, I understood that. Take time to process, especially because Zach is not in a place to emotionally meet you where you were at. He don't know about the abortion that you had and all the guilt and the turmoil that it caused you. So yes, by all means, process this. But this is something that is directly related to the actions of Zachary Taylor, who you're in partnership with. Andi cannot help you. Angela cannot help you. Only Zach can help you. Only Zach can affirm you. Only Zach can reassure you. Only Zach can do anything that's going to help or hurt the relationship that y'all's in. And the longer that you take to actually do anything, the bigger the bridge gets for either you to walk out of each other's lives. And that's just that on that. So my vote is that Fatima needs to pop off. If it hurts Zach's feelings, so be it. If it makes him angry, so be it. I think, again, and just making a note of creating safe space within certain relationships, the true test and the power of where your relationship is at in reference to health level, I think, is only measured by how authentic you can be in that relationship. And no, I ain't saying that Fatima got to pop off and call Zach a bunch of bees, but she could pop off and express and yell her anger, her frustration. Hell, even just screaming in the house would be a pop off, but would give her some type of cathartic relief and give Zach some type of communication of exactly where she's at mentally, exactly what's going on. But those are just my thoughts. I would love to know yours in the comment section down below. Do you think that Fatima should process or she should pop off? Tell me that and more in the comments down below, and we're going to keep that conversation going. Give this video a like because you made it all the way to the end, so I know that you liked it. And I'm going to see you in my next Sistas video.